Oh, well, it's streaming. Are we live? Mission accomplished?
I see loading. I see loading. Loading. Yay!
Alright, we're up. Oh, God. Totally ridiculous. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that the production quality is not up to Neil's standards. This is rushed. This is so rushed.
Okay, guys. So here's what's going on. I tried to start streaming this a few times, and it wouldn't work. Twitch would not accept it. So we gave Unctious the stream key, and he's streaming it. Forgive the production quality, but welcome to Love Bytes. I'm sorry there's no cool intro. But welcome to Love Bytes, the show where we try to debug your romance problems.
After our production issues.
After we debug our production issues. This here is this is Unctious. He is... Unctious, who are you? Who are you, Unctious?
So I used to be a StarCraft commentator. I haven't been doing it very much this past semester, and just because I've been super busy, wasn't able to keep up with it. But you may have seen me on Esports Mafia, of course, one of Neil's shows. That's where I've been around, and pretty psyched to be here. Excellent.
Now, Unctious, tell me, what qualifies you to dole out love advice?
I'll tell you, I think I've dated a girl or two once or twice. That's probably about it. That's pretty much the extent of my knowledge, my love knowledge. Nothing else.
Okay.
Beyond that, I'm just kind of a regular dude.
All right. You would have seen it in the intro, but the intro didn't work this time. So I am pretty much in the same boat. I have no degrees in anything that would help with this. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a psychiatrist or a psychologist. I really just have personal experience and a sound head on my shoulders, I think.
Yeah, hopefully.
There's a lot of disagreement about that last statement, actually. But I'm pretty sure it's sound, so...
That's all that matters.
Without further ado, let's jump right into Love Bytes, one of our favorite shows that we do here, with our first question, starting with, hey guys.
Sup, bro?
Hey you guys. I have finished my first full year of being single, and it sucked. I've been told by a girlfriend of mine that I needed to calm myself down, get my head away from the whole need a girlfriend situation. To do that, I started socializing more with friends, joining a Dungeons & Dragons group, good choice. Starting my own group as a DM, even joined a Tai Chi practice to be in some new environments.
That's fucking sweet.
However, I still seem to long for a relationship. I want to know how to be okay with being single, as I feel that would help me get a relationship. Confusing, I know, sigh. But a calm state of mind towards meeting a new female soul would be a huge improvement over my current desperate need for comfort attitude. The whole being friends before dating thing. End of question. You're absolutely right. There's not a question in here. I guess you could say I want to know how to be okay with being single.
Yeah.
That's how to be okay with being single.
I would say that, like, one of the most important things, and I guess this is kind of the advice that you've already been given, but one of the most important things is to be able to find comfort in being yourself, and not having to gain any sense of self-worth out of other people. Really just keep doing your thing. And I think, in my experience, ideally, the people that you're going to be closest to and the people that you can mostly be in a relationship are people that are going to kind of pop up when you pursue your own interests. I think being okay with being single and being okay with being by yourself is something that just comes with kind of time. I think there's, like, an inherent longing for companionship in, like, all human beings. So, like, I feel like that's not that strange, and that's not that out of the realm of possibility for anybody. I don't know. What do you think, Neil?
I think that girls can smell a single guy who's looking for a relationship from a mile away, and they hate that smell so much.
Yeah.
We're just covered in that stench. And the moment you get a girlfriend, or the moment you're not actually interested in a relationship, you're just really psyched to be doing whatever it is that you're doing, then all of a sudden there's girls everywhere. And like, oh, hi, do you want to go out on dates? You're like, no, really. I just want to do this, or I'm seeing this other person. Why weren't you here 6 months ago when I was looking for you?
That is so unbelievably true.
It's so unbelievably true.
Because what you're gonna notice is that the instant one day that you, like, end up in a relationship, all of a sudden, like, a million other girls that, like, you never realized were even potential or, like, possibilities will come out of nowhere and just be like, oh my god, you're so cool. And,
yeah.
And that kind of blows.
Yeah. It really does.
But I'm
yeah,
pretty
it's
sure
feast or famine, really.
yeah, I don't know. It's very weird.
So the issue is that you have to get yourself in that situation where they are interested in you, where you don't have the single stench on you, and no amount of baths will ever fix that. No amount of nice clothing will fix that. So the cure, as far as I've been able to tell, is to find something that you're really excited about and that you actually are looking forward to all the time. Something that you're actually passionate about. It's good that you're doing like Tai Chi and Dungeons and Dragons, but if like those are fun, but if you're not super passionate about it, it doesn't fill that like that focus, that drive where you're like kind of excluding and not like looking at girls as like a prime thing to do. I don't think there's anyone in the world that can give you the answer you're looking for. I think the how do I be okay with being single, you just got to like find something that makes you feel that way. And I know that's the stupidest answer in the world, but tough luck, dude.
Yeah, I think that's probably the best way to say it. Like, I mean, I think so much of it comes from prioritization. Like, stop prioritizing, I'm gonna try to do these things so that I will be okay with being single, and instead just like actually just do those things because you enjoy them, not because they're gonna make you okay with being single.
Yeah. You have to. It's the sort of thing where it's like, okay, don't think about an elephant. And then if I ask you what you're thinking about 10 seconds later, of course you're thinking about an elephant. And the key to not thinking about an elephant isn't like, okay, stop thinking about elephants. It's, okay, think about something else. So it's not like, I'm trying not to think about elephants. Like, okay, I'm trying to think about candles. And then you just keep thinking about candles. And when someone asks you in 10 seconds what you're thinking about, you're like, oh, I'm thinking about candles. And like, you're not thinking about elephants? You're like, wait, why would I think about elephants? Candles are on my mind right now. So you got to do that thing. You have to like, the equation in the end is like leading up to the girl, but you have to look at the equation without the girl in it, sort of thing.
Yeah, it's not about that. And like, yeah, I think that pretty much sums it up. I think that's basically, I like it. But good luck, man.
Yeah, good luck and good choice with D&D and Tai Chi. I back you fully on those. Well done, sir. All right, next question. Dear Koibu, I just started dating this girl a couple months ago. Things are going great, and I really like her. However, she's not as sexually exciting as some of my previous relationships. Everything about her is perfect, though. Does this make me a terrible person for thinking about this? For even thinking about this? Thank you. No, you are not a terrible person. It is okay to be not satisfied in your sexual relationships with whoever you are with. That is totally legit. What's not legit is if you're like, oh, she's perfect in every way, but the sex is kind of not that great. Fuck it, I'm out. Like, that's being just a fucking dick. So,
I think this is kind of a matter of prioritization too. I'm not sure that like, I don't know how. I don't think I'd be able to tell you that wouldn't be, or that shouldn't be a deal breaker. I think if you value like that part of your that part of any relationship that much, and like if that's your thing, if you're like, you know, the one thing that has to really matter in a relationship is the sex, for instance, then like that can be a deal breaker. For me, I don't know if it would be. For me personally, no. Do you disagree?
I think that's bullshit, because if the sex sucks or isn't sucking, depending on how you're looking at that phrasing, you can fix that. That's something that can be fixed with communication. Yeah. Like, what if she's new? What if you're the first time? You're like, wow, she doesn't know what she's doing. And then you're like, holy crap, I can teach her exactly what I want her to do and how I like it, because she has no bad habits and preconceived notions. Or if she like has all these other things, but all this experience, like, wow, maybe we can find some cool middle ground that I have. Like, there's a lot of room there to explore. If she's crappy at sex, you just got to talk to her. You got to like, you know, maybe she's really shy and timid, and you need to like give her like an hour back massage ahead of time and be really sweet and be really nice and get her relaxed. Maybe she's just really nervous,
right?
And you got to like, this is what maybe she needs direction. Maybe she needs less direction. Like, you got to do this communication thing. You got to talk to her. You got to be like, hey babe, our sex sucks. It's dumb. We both know this. Okay. Let's make it better. And then you got to get past that.
So what I would say is that I think that is totally reasonable, but I would also say is that you can't deny that there are going to be people who are just sexually incompatible. And if you value that part of your relationship more than you, or at least enough to make the rest of your relationship feel, you know, just be kind of shitty, then that needs to be taken into account. So what I'm saying is that I don't think that you should just break up with this chick right away. I don't think that's the way to do this. I think what Neil's saying is probably the most reasonable thing possible. It's like, you know what, there are other options to take other than just breaking up, and there are plenty of people who find that their relationships are not sexually gratifying, and the best thing that they could do is to talk to each other. I think that communication, that compromise, is probably the best possible option out of everything. And then in the event that you still aren't sexually satisfied, and that is an important enough part of your relationship, which has to be your own decision, then from there you might you might say, well, this just isn't working for me. But I do not think that you should throw this chick away that quickly. I think she sounds really, really awesome for you, and you should keep that in mind.
Agreed.
Boom. Drop the mic.
Boom. Done. Done. So easy. Next one. Heyo, Neil. As you were short on questions for today's Love Bites, that's so true. We started out with one question, and then all of a sudden we got like 15, so we're set now. Here's one about what happened in my life recently. There was this big business meeting with our #1 partner company, celebrating the end of the year together and so on. Now, there's a certain coworker. We've been working together on some crucial projects recently. Last one we presented that evening. And we came to know each other. I started to see her in a different light, and since I've always come to work with a big smile when she's around, how should I approach the situation now? Not going to do anything will be hard and kind of painful, so why not try it? But we are a great team, and she's probably the best coworker I've ever had. Really unsure what to do about next. Greetings, person's name who I'm not going to use.
Okay, so wait, let me get that straight. So it's just the big problem is that it's a coworker. Is that the main issue?
I think that's the crux of the issue. The nuances of it is that they were working on a project together, and it's a project for their #1 partner company. Yeah. How do you feel about romance in the workplace?
I do not shit where I eat, personally. I just don't want to screw with it. Like, I think my job is too important to me. I think that there's a respectable way to go about it, and that would be to, I think the romance has to kind of stay out of the actual workplace itself. I think, but for me personally, I don't like to take a risk. I'm a very safe person, and I don't like to take the risk in that case. So I'm gonna have trouble.
Except when he's playing Mafia, then he's willing to ride or die with just about anyone.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much.
Why? How about you? How do you feel about it?
Oh, I say, in this day and age, you only keep a job for a few years and then you move on to the next job.
That makes sense.
Romance lasts a lifetime, or can last a lifetime, and if it's going to last a lifetime, then it's the most important thing in your life, and so I always say put romance first, put work second. That's my that's my viewpoint, but I'm kind of romantic in that sense. So if you like her, and if she likes you, you can always do these sort of like go out on a pseudo date, test the waters sort of thing. And if you get the impression she's into it, then you guys can you can be an adult about it and be like, hey, I really like you and I'd like to see you, but we work together and that makes it complicated. What do you like? I'm a huge fan of communication. Communication fix everything. So I would do like a half date where you kind of go out for drinks, but it's just the two of you, but it's still like casual friends, and you're kind of talking about work and whatnot. But then you kind of like walk her home or something, and you have like
and then
that
boom,
borderline gray area, and then you meet up with her later, and you're like, yeah, that was great. I'd like to do it again, but it feels kind of blah 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 blah. Talk, and then she'll be like, oh my god, I think you're so hot. We should totally do this. And you're like, oh, but we work together, babe. I don't know if we can handle it. And then you have like an adult conversation about it, and then when you're both agreed to go for it, then.
All right.
Then you'd go for it.
You know what? I'm about to bring some of my own experience into Love Bites. I'm not sure that I'm willing to trust people in being adults and not making it like for the most part. Like I think I would get frustrated in that sort of position because I wouldn't be able to trust, or I'm not certain that I'd be able to trust the other person in being an adult. So if I did open up and I was like, yo, I think you're pretty cool. I think we should hang out more, and I would like to date you or whatever. I'm not convinced that. I would have to be convinced the other person would be able to keep it from being awkward if things don't go the right way. I know that I can keep it from being awkward on my end of things, but if they're going to make everything awkward after that, then that's going to be really, really frustrating. So I think that's something that needs to be taken into account. Do you think that she is a person that will be able to handle it in an adult manner once it's over with, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I'm taking the more cautionary approach. But yeah, I like Neil's, gung ho, like romance lasts a lifetime shit. That's pretty cool. I'm into that. I'm digging it.
Sorry, just answering a quick question to Twitch support, who's being very kind by trying to fix this stuff over Twitter. Bam! Yeah, I think that's solid. I don't think there's anything else to go on that. We got the two different approaches to things. Both are acceptable. So there's your advice from people who have dated a girl or two and never in the workplace for either of us. We totally know what we're talking about.
Yes. Take our word as law.
All right. Here we go. New person. Not even a hello. Not even an introduction.
The fuck, dude?
Number one problem. You're a jerk. I'm kidding. Being an older gaming college student, mid-30s, should I bother with trying to find anyone on my college campus? Ooh, yes. Yes. Well, I wouldn't say, you go out hunting for girls or guys. Like,
I think anytime you're hunting, it's probably not a great connotation.
Well, I picked that specifically for that connotation there. But the idea is, I wouldn't. You are kind of in that older area, so it's weird if you're trying to like seek them. But I would definitely stay open, and if there's like an opportunity, like light flirting is okay. I wouldn't push it too hard because you kind of are older, and it might come off a little bit weird. But at the same time, a lot of girls in college like older guys, and I know that's a broad generalizations, but that's what you do when you're trying to give advice. You use broad generalizations to make points because how else can you do things without knowing every detail of the situation? So don't give us shit for that. Some girls really like the older guy thing. You got to play it cool, which helps you with the older guy thing because the older guy thing's like, oh, he's cool, he's relaxed, he's not into all the drama. Oh my god. So I think it's viable. I think it's legit, but you gotta stay a little bit more reserved.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the key. That is a hard thing to battle with. I mean, I'm at university. Said. Yeah, well, of course it is. I'm on a college campus right now, and I've some of my coworkers. I also work on a college campus. Not only do I go to school there, some of my coworkers. We go to the bar. They're older. They're full-time employees, and there's like college girls at the bar, and they're.
Are you allowed to drink at a bar? Are you 21 yet?
Yeah, I'm 21. I mean, I'm not.
Sorry.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm 21, and if we go to the bar, there have been some instances of them kind of overstepping their bounds. I think there needs to be a heavy sense of kind of self in how you proceed in the situation.
Agreed, totally.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the key.
Much respect, Unctious.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
Sweet.
Like I said, I'm an expert, so.
Totally an expert.
I've kind of dated a girl or two.
Kind of dated a girl or two. All right, jumping over to our next question. Last month, my girlfriend of 4 years broke up with me because she is a huge slut and needs more than one D inside of her. I'm over her now, but girls are stupid and I can't find any good ones to make friends with. Do you have any advice?
So clearly you were not into more than one D being in her at any point. Some people are into that.
All right, buddy. Clearly, you're still pretty broken up over this.
It's not a little salty. There's at least a little salt involved.
I'm over her now. You're not over her now.
Clearly.
But girls are stupid. No, girls are awesome. And I can't find any good ones. They're all over the place to make friends with. Yeah, that's hard. Do you have any advice? Chill out. Really, really try to get over her. You can't get over someone you were dating for 4 years in a few months. I tried to get over someone who I dated for like a year and a half, and it took me like 8 months to get over her. That's not true. 4 or 5 months, 6 months. It takes like half the time of the relationship or something, some bullshit.
It can take longer. For me, it took longer. I don't know.
Yeah,
it depends.
It really depends. Yeah, you're totally not over her, dude. Stop lying to yourself.
Stop lying to yourself.
I would cut girls out of your life for a while, unless you're just looking for rebound sex, in which case this is the wrong place to go. This is not something I have ever attempted, and therefore I've never been successful with. Unctious might be able to give you all the rebound sex tips. Scott Bro is really the one that you want to talk to about like random girls and rebound sex, but he's not on the show. Chill out, lay off the girls, go hang out with your guy friends, play some D&D, do whatever you need. In a little while, when you come across a girl that you're interested in, then you can start going for her. But don't chase anyone right now. What the hell's wrong? No, get out of your head.
Yeah,
and stop calling her a huge slut. I'm sure there were problems on your end too.
Yeah, that was going to be my biggest point. Like, she didn't break up with you because she was a slut. Like, that's not, like, I don't know. That was just really disrespectful. And I think there might have been a lot of disrespect, but I think before that you can actually do anything mature, you need to get yourself more level-headed in what happened, Except if she was as bad as a person as you were trying to make her out to be, then you shouldn't chalk it up to you shouldn't be so angry about it, I think. In one way, if she was that terrible person, then you should be glad that you got her out of your life. And if she was a pretty cool person, then there might have been something that happened on both ends, and you need to be a little more open-minded to that. And before you can, like, you can't really get into something else until you fully accept whatever happened between you two.
Yeah, yeah. I don't think she... I'm just, like, imagining this scene where, you know, she walks up to this person's like, Fred, I really need another penis inside of me right now.
I need at least 3 Ds at any given time.
I need more Ds in me, and you're not providing me with the amount of Ds I need.
I noticed you only have 1 D.
It's not you, it's me. We have to break up. I'm really just a big slut and need all the Ds in me right now.
Unless you can acquire more Ds.
Like double or triple penetration.
I'm just not going to be able to do this.
I don't think that's how it went down. I really don't think that's how it went down. Stop being bitter, bro. All right, next question. Oh, chat. So this is what happens when you say we need questions, we're running out of questions. You get stuff like this. I need advice on how to get a girl to perform fellatio upon me.
How eloquently worded.
I take it you have the girl in tow already, like you have a girlfriend, but she's not interested in that sort of sex act. This is where patience and communication comes into play. If she's like, oh my god, that's gross, I can't be involved in that, that's morally repugnant to me, then you have to kind of like talk to her about sex, like, well, what do you like, what do I like, and then like, you know, be patient, be like, hey, it's not going to happen now, but work your way in that direction, help, like, you know, open her up, like, you know, open her mind to more options in sex and that sort of thing. Like, everyone starts off really shy. You know, you start off as a kid and you're like, ew, sex is gross. And then eventually like, oh, maybe kissing a girl would be okay. Hee hee. And then you're like, ooh, this is awesome. And then you're like, sex is cool. And then it just goes on and on and on and on until by the time you're 80 where you can't... Have you seen that SMBC comic where it's like a girl trying to like hit on her older male professor? Like, oh, if you give me an A, I'll totally sleep with you. And then he's like, you have no idea. I've been married to the same woman for 40 years. The only way we can find sex interesting or meaningful is if we like pull out the waffle iron and burn each other with it. And she's like, oh my god, what the fuck? Guys, the older you get, strange things get. Don't worry about it. So if she doesn't want to perform fellatio upon you now, give her time. She's probably new to this stuff.
Or, you know, you could be reasonable, like Neil was saying, or you could do like the Django Unchained version. So, for those of you who haven't seen it, now listen. All right, now listen carefully. So, what happens in Django Unchained is that the main character wants to buy his wife back from a slave owner. But the way they do it is they're like, yo, I'm really interested in this other thing, and I'm interested in this extremely extravagant thing, but instead, you know what? On the side, I'm okay with taking like this little thing to kind of like satiate myself. So here's what you do: you say, "Why don't we do it up the butt?" And when she's like, "No, I don't want to do that," you're like, "How about a blowjob?" And she's like, "All right, maybe I'll do that." That's terrible advice, but I was just trying to be funny, and Neil didn't laugh at all. So now I just
you go. It's the sort of thing where it's like if you present something, people will be like, "No way!" But then you present something more reasonable. It's something they still would not agree with to begin with. Then it becomes more reasonable. So you're being a sneaky snake. You're right.
It's terrible advice. You should not listen to that at all. I was just being an asshole. But
yeah, he's an asshole. But but don't do it.
Don't do it.
Because then you're. We're done with this question because it's not even that good of a question. Moving on to the next one. Hello. My name is Roman. I am 20, and I live and study law in Moscow, Russia. When I was 14, I had a huge crush on one girl. It did not go well, and I was left in total desperation for about 4 years. That's when I picked up DMing, playing music, and games. About 2 years ago, I overcame my crush. However, I'm still not able to truly move on. I have no problem meeting, talking, flirting, I guess about 12 to 14 charisma. However, when I get to know a girl better, I lose interest because she does not share some of my interest. I got 2.5 questions. 1. Can you somehow overcome that loss of interest, light the spark anew? 2. How can one discern girls who could learn to love all our great nerdy stuff? Are there any tricks to getting her interested in it? Keep in mind, I live in Russia, and there are very few hobby stores / clubs here, and I can't really go on a hunt there.
The hunt. I love the hunt.
Love all your shows. All right. If you overcame it 2 years ago, but you're still not able to truly move on, you didn't overcome it 2 years ago.
Yeah.
That's one. Okay, so for question number one, how can you somehow overcome loss of interest, light the spark anew? Unctious, how do you light the spark anew when it's burned out?
If there was an easy way to do that, a lot of relationships would keep going.
Yeah.
I think that when you enter a state of malaise, I think a lot of it is psychological, and that you are not as invested in something as you used to be, and that can happen just because it's not a function of you necessarily or the other person. I don't really know. This is tough. Neil, you start. I'm gonna think more.
All right. What you got to do is you got to look outside your own. Like, you have your interests, she has her interests. So you have to you can't always expect her to join your interests. You also have to adapt yourself.
True life.
If you're, for example, I'm a huge D&D nerd, as we all know. I'm super into nerdy shit. The girl I'm currently dating, when we first met, our common ground was ballroom dancing, and outside of that, we had nothing in common. Well, we like to go hiking. But that was it. It was like ballroom dancing and hiking, and there was no other common ground. But we really liked each other. And so when she was like, oh, hey, let's go do this thing. Like, let's go out to this club with my friends. And I was like, I fucking hate clubs. Okay, I'm going to do it anyway because I really like you, blah, 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 blah. And so I went, and I was fucking miserable at these clubs. And I hated the music, and I didn't drink because I was, paranoid and terrified and in a social situation I didn't like. But you do it a couple times, and then you really like the person, and they help you through the situation because then they hang out with you while you're there, and it's not just you at a club. You're actually at a club with a person. Then it's not really about the club. It's the blah, 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 blah. So that kind of opened me up in that direction, and then she would, like, hang out with us when we were playing D&D, when she was, like, making breakfast in the morning. We were playing D&D in the morning. So she kind of got involved in that a little bit, just as an observer. And so you kind of, like, get common ground on both sides, and you both grow instead of just trying to bring her into your interests. So that's what I would say for question number one. You got to light the spark both ways.
Yeah, I think that's kind of what I was trying to say. It's like not... Yes, I agree.
Done. Question two. How can one discern girls who would learn to love all our great nerdy stuff? Are there any tricks to get her interested in it? If you're passionate about it, she'll be interested in it. This last weekend, I went to my cousin's wedding, and while we're down there, we ran into my aunt and her husband, and her husband is a collector of these wax recording cylinders from like the late 1800s, early 1900s. It's like these wax cylinders about yay long, yay thick, that have these grooves on the outside. They're basically like old records, but in wax. And they're like 2 minutes long, and they have random crap on them, sometimes music, sometimes just noises. Really fucking bizarre. And when you explain it like that, you're like, that's weird, that's not very interesting. But when we were talking with him, he was super passionate about it. He was really interested in it, and we really had the most intense, amazing conversation about the most mundane, lame thing in the world. Like, we listened to some of the recordings. They were shitty. They were awful. Sometimes it was like people singing, but they were bad. And the recordings were terrible. They were not entertaining, but like because he was passionate about it and he got really in depth into it, we were intrigued. So if you want her to be interested, you got to be like, babe, check out this book. This is the recently revised printing of the second edition. Oh my god, I just got lettuce on here. Fuck. D&D. I can't believe I just got lettuce on this. This is a brand new book. Oh my god. This book was originally printed like 25 years ago. They cleaned it up. They like made the text smaller. Everything fits better. This is really fucking cool. I want to show you about this book and compare it to the old one. And then you get super psyched, and they're like, okay, well, this is interesting. He's psyched. I'm psyched. We're all psyched. That's how you do it. Be passionate about the things you like.
I think that's the best way. That's like the best thing in the entire world, and there's so much evidence for that, right? Like me as a commentator, for instance, in StarCraft, my job was to get people psyched about a game, even if a game that was going on, like picture a StarCraft match, like both the players, nothing's happening right. Both the players are playing really, really terribly. It's really sloppy. It's like the same old game that you've seen a million times. My job as a commentator was just to show that I was really into it, and if I was really into it, it makes the game that much more intriguing. Now that's kind of my job in general, right? I was kind of a marketing person to some extent for StarCraft. In a similar kind of way, the best way that you can get people interested into something is to show them that there is something to be interested in. And the only way to do that is to show them just how much you care about whatever it is that you're talking about. So I think I think Neil's totally right.
Cool. All right, this one is for you, Unctious.
Oh, Jesus.
As the big 30 gets closer every year, I sometimes feel pressure to get one's shit together. Recently, my girlfriend has been hinting at things like marriage and moving away from the habits of youth-like video games. Do you think it's necessary at some point to become a proper adult by the standards of generations past, or is being a man-child, as some term it, a valid option?
Cool.
Take it away, bro.
I think this is a great question. I think there needs to be a realization at some point that this idea of a proper adult doesn't necessarily exist at all. I kind of think everybody's improvising to some extent. That's kind of what life is all about. And what I think matters most about being an adult is that you take care of your responsibilities. It doesn't mean doing the crossword in the paper every morning, because that's what adults do. It doesn't mean it doesn't mean being stuffy all the time, and it doesn't mean just taking pride in sitting out on the porch all the time like what old people do. To me, what being an adult means is bearing your responsibilities, the responsibilities that you need, and it also means being respectful to other people. So if you are not getting shit done because you want to play video games all the time, you're not acting like an adult. To me, that's what that means. I think that this idea of a man-child is kind of crappy, because to me one of the most important things is to maintain a sense of wonder with the world and to maintain a sense of interest in the things that are happening around you and in the things that you love. And I do not think that you should have to abandon things that you really care about and that you enjoy doing unless they're unhealthy and unsustainable, which would be things that get in the way of you actually taking care of your responsibilities. So I do not think that there needs to be any reason that you would give up the things that you care about and the things that you enjoy, because those things aren't wastes of time. They're not things that are keeping you from growing up. These are, if you can maintain a healthy balance of everything in your life, you're being an adult. So that's my take.
Well fucking spoken. That's why I gave this to you, because I knew you could handle that.
Boom.
I don't even need to say anything. This guy's got it. Done. Moving on. Next question. Oh my god, there's so many questions coming in now. First off, you the man, Neil. Why doesn't no love for Unctious, guys? No love for Unctious.
What the fuck? I'm done. I'm done answering questions.
What the fuck? Yeah. I have two questions. First one, I asked you about how I should handle playing against a girl I like in a video game, and you said to go all out. Can you elaborate on why that would be a good choice? My experiences against playing a friend is that if I win, they tend to stop wanting to play against me. Second question, what are your thoughts on dating in the workplace? There are many cute girls in my department and in others. I'm not the best at picking up chicks, so here's a chance I can make it awkward if I mess it up. All right, we already answered the second question. We're not going to do that. Answer it again here. Question number one, playing video games against a girl you like, do you let her win? Fuck no. No, you don't beat her bloody. Okay, I might have said go all out, but if she's a noob and you're like a GM player, you don't slaughter her over and over and over again. But if you let people win against you, that's wildly disrespectful. I mean, if I was playing against someone and they let me win, like a girl, and she was really good at this game and she just kind of let me win, I would be so pissed at her. If I let my girlfriend win when we were playing a game, she would beat the shit out of me. Literally. Like, I would probably be on the ground in a pool of blood. People hate it when you pity them. So play against them, give yourself a handicap or something, but yeah. Play.
Okay, I was going to say, so I was going to make a comparison. So, how there's, that one guy in every friend group who's, really good at one thing? It's like when everyone wants to play Smash Brothers, for instance. You start sitting around, and you're like, okay, let's play some fucking Brawl, and it's gonna be fun. Everyone picks up their controllers, and this one guy just completely dominates, and it's not even fun because they're, they're killing the game in your eyes. Now, what I was going to ask you, Neil, was do you think that, giving yourself a handicap in some way, saying, I'm not going to, wave dash when I'm playing, or I'm not going to be doing these super advanced techniques when I'm playing. Instead, I'm just going to kind of, chill out. Do you think that that's a bad thing to do? Do you think that's disrespectful?
No. If you're playing casually, but still playing, that's fine.
Okay.
But if you're doing the thing where you're like, okay, I'm going to play, but I'm going to intentionally lose.
Yeah, no, that's crap.
Then you're being a fucking dick.
Yeah, totally.
Do you see where we're coming from, where that's kind of like talking down to someone? It's being demeaning. It's being condescending. Yeah. No one likes being talked down to or pitied. So
or humiliated, for that matter. I think
or,
on the other hand, you shouldn't go out of your way to humiliate people over and over again by saying, I kicked the shit out of you, even though I wasn't doing all this extra shit that I was doing. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think there has to be a middle ground. You shouldn't humiliate the person, but you also shouldn't let them win by any means.
Totally. Exactly. So play with her. Give her a taste for it. You want to find that level where she is just about even with you, but not quite, and then like you kind of go back and forth, and you don't throw the games, but be chill about things, kind of be silly and screw around a bit.
Yeah.
Have fun with it. Don't take it seriously, but don't. Yeah.
True life.
True life, nerd life. All right. Hey, Neil, first-time caller, frequent listener. Ooh, first time I've ever gotten one of those. I've recently been hanging out with a friend of mine, and she is super awesome, but she has a boyfriend, so I never tried to pursue the relationship. Ooh, get a lot of those coming in. Lately, though, she has begun to kind of flirt and move towards me.
Nice. You're in.
You're in. Done. Next question.
You're in.
I at first ignored it as nothing until we spent 2 hours in the car just talking about everything. The problem is her boyfriend is my friend, and sometimes I play D&D with often. Oh, shit. I don't want to be the reason they break up, but I also don't want to turn her down and give her the idea that there could not be anything there at all. Their relationship is extremely rocky, and I feel like a vulture. Any advice on handling this situation without losing a friend? You are a fucking vulture. That's exact. You feel like a vulture because you are a vulture here. You're waiting for your friend's relationship to fall apart so you can like pick it off and take it away. Now that's
ouch.
I mean, I'm being a little bit harsh
Neil.
here, caller. I'm being a little bit harsh.
I think. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay. If he's one of your good friends, you shouldn't be fucking with that situation. In my opinion, there's a little bit of bro code that needs to come in here. Relationships can be way more volatile than friendships can be, and I think if you care about this guy, you don't want to fuck him over, and you certainly don't want to fuck your relationship over with him. So, you're a vulture.
Yeah. If this guy's a good friend of yours, and if you actually care about him and want to be friends with him ever again, you stay away from the girl.
Emotions.
I know you like her, but stay away from her.
Yeah.
If you're like, you know what, this guy's not a big deal, and I would be willing to burn that bridge forever, and also, like, I would be willing to burn that bridge and have this... I would be willing to take the chance that going out with this girl would completely not work and fall apart totally, and then still lose him. Like, she's worth it to burn the bridge at a risk of not even getting her. Also, if that makes sense, that did not come out right, but you know what I'm trying to say, guys.
Yeah, something that I think you kind of need to realize also is that while you think this chick is really cool, like she's
hot and stuff. She says.
Oh, well, she's hot and stuff.
Oh, wait, never mind. That's not him. That's someone else. Sorry.
Oh, no, I'm saying that, like, there's a million other girls out there that are going to be cool, too. And I think that, there's no one girl that is going to be, like, the paragon of everything that you've ever wanted in a girl. And unless that is actually the case, then I cannot see anybody justifying
But you know what it's like to be young and there's a girl that you really like and you can't stop thinking about her.
Yo, I know that.
She's with the other guy, and you're like, oh, but she's always occupies your mind and you can't see past that girl to the other girls out there. You know what I'm talking about, right?
It's certainly not. Our emotions are certainly not something that it's logical, and that totally happens. And reining them in is like the hardest thing in the entire world. But at the same time, you gotta.
That's what I was saying.
What?
Thank you. Someone in chat found the words I was looking for. Burn the bridge with him for a chance at going with her.
Yeah. Yes, you should not do that. That would be shitty, and that would make you kind of a bad friend.
Yeah.
If you're willing to be a bad friend, well, that's on you, but I don't think it's a good idea.
Yeah, don't do it, dude. Don't do it. Friendships are going to last you a lifetime. Relationships will, most of the time, not. You know?
Not just a friendship, a D&D group.
A D&D group goes deep.
Shit goes deep.
The stuff that ends up happening when you're hanging out with your friends playing D&D, it gets really embarrassing sometimes, you know? I'm a lot closer with the people I play D&D with than the people I just kind of hung out with.
Yeah, how long have you been with that group that you played with on roleplay not roleplay, the one shots that one time? You said you've been playing with them for years, right?
Ryan I've been playing with since junior high school. Jackson I've been playing with since high school. The other guys we played like 2 years together.
Yeah, like that shit.
I would, went to my dojo, and he was one of my assistant instructors for like 4 or 5 years, and we're all close.
Yeah, having good friends is of utmost importance.
In 5 years, you're going to look back and be like, yeah, I'm glad I kept that friendship. And you're not going to be like, yeah, I'm glad I had that relationship. Take the long view.
Yeah.
Older you will appreciate, oh my God, there's so many questions.
Nice.
Beautiful. We're not going to be able to get to all of them.
Okay. Just let me know when we run out of time. I don't have plans.
What is a good way to get out of the friend zone? Is there one? All right. Let's some real talk now.
I'm ready for this because this is interesting to me.
The friend zone? It's a made-up term by people on the internet who are trying to label something to make themselves feel better when it's really she's just not into you, you know? Like, there's girls out there that if they came up to you, you would be like, yeah, I don't really want to date you. You're cool. I don't have anything against you, but I don't really want to date you. You are that person to them. The friend zone is a misnomer trying to help us lonely nerds feel better about ourselves. And if we ever want to get past it, we need to face the reality of the situation and stop blaming things on the friend zone. If she thinks of you as a friend, you got to prove to her that you're not a friend, that you're something more than a friend. Or she's going to think of you as a friend, and that's fine. You just have to move on with that. Life is not fair. It doesn't always work out. You don't always get the princess. She's sometimes in another castle.
I think that, well, I take a different approach, I think, from Neil. I think that the idea of the friend zone can exist. That is that there's going to be a girl that you might be interested in who doesn't think of you anything as more than a friend, but and that it's okay for that label to exist. What I think the problem where it goes wrong is the idea that, like, I put myself, like, I think it's the idea that I could have gone either way. I could have been a romantic interest, or I could have been a friendly interest, and she put me in the friendly interest category, and now I can never make my way out. I think what it comes down to is maybe you're just not good for each other, or maybe she's good for you and you're not good for her in a romantic sense, and that's okay. That's legit. Do you know how many girls there are on Earth? Do you know? So
About
many.
3.5 billion?
So many.
3.5 billion, I think.
And,
Most of them speak Chinese, though, or a large portion. And if you don't speak Chinese, it's kind of a problem.
And the point is, I think that you need to recall that that one girl that you're thinking about is probably not everything that you make her out to be for you. And if she is, then there are more girls out there that can fill that spot in your life, and you won't have to suffer to make it happen.
So how do you get out of the friend zone? You know what? You're in the friend zone because she's never seen you as a romantic option. You got to show that if you really like this girl and you are romantically interested in her, you have to express yourself as a romantic option. That doesn't mean, you know, being only nice to her. That means you have to treat her as an equal and then be romantic with her. You know, it's not like do enough nice things and the girl fucks you. It's, you know, get the girl interested in you as a person, which is not being nice. That's being a crutch. You know? So you like her, it's not working out.
But don't be something that you're not to do that. That's kind of shitty too, you know? Like,
be yourself.
Be yourself.
Treat her as
exactly.
Treat her as a friend. Treat her as your best friend. Like your best guy friend, the best guy friend that you'll make fart jokes with and that you'll, like, you know, do stupid shit with. Treat her like that. And if she responds well, then she's good for you. You know, because that's what you want in a significant other, is someone who is your best friend. Like, you know, I can do the ridiculous shit that I do with my best guy friends with my girlfriend, and that's why she's amazing.
Stop thinking about her as a romantic object that she can, like, fulfill your romantic needs, and start thinking of her as a human being.
She's not like like a set of plate mail +5. You know, she doesn't fill a certain stat gap in your character.
And honestly, if you're in the friend zone, it's not necessarily a reflection on you either. I think that's one of the most frustrating parts about it, at least in my case, is that for so long I thought about, like, for me it was like, oh, you know, there's got to be something wrong with me. Dude, there's probably just something wrong with the fact that you two don't, like, you weren't made for each other. You know, you're not like two puzzle pieces that were made to fit together. Like, it's more likely that the way that you interact with each other is just not what she wants. It's probably, you know, it's probably not what you want either. You might be blinded by, like, you know, some sense of...
The light?
What?
Never mind. I was making a joke.
Oh, I didn't hear what you said. But regardless, the point is that, like, there's going to be... It's okay that your interaction isn't what she's looking for, because that's not a terrible reflection on you. It's a reflection on just the interactions that you have. And that's cool. And I think that it's hard to be okay with that, but I think that's the first step in realizing it.
All right, we can do one more, okay?
I'm in.
About an age ago, I was in love with a girl, and she was the most beautiful girl I have ever seen. We used to talk, and we seemed to get along, and I was crazy about her. But I could never say to her how I really felt, since she was in a relationship with my best friend. Boom! For a while, I pretended like nothing, but I always thought in my head, what should I do? Should I speak the truth? If he finds out, what will he do? If she finds out, Will she feel the same? After a while, I thought about telling them, but then I saw them sitting on a beach or a bench outside of school, just spending time together and smiling, and they were having a good time. And I had, at that moment, made up my mind. I wasn't going to say anything. To see them happy made me happy. I told this to some friends, and they told me I should have told them, and I started doubting myself if I did the right thing. I'd love to hear your insight on this and your opinions. With best regards, name that I'm not going to say on stream. P.S. This is a very short version of the whole story, but I think it sums up. Yeah, the stories are always more complicated.
Okay, wait, so what did he say? What did he say to the? Okay, so
he's head over heels for girl. Girl is dating his best friend.
Yeah,
loves the girl. He decides, you know what? I see them happy this one time, sitting on a bench, just talking and holding hands. They actually seem happy together, and that makes me happy for them. Fuck it, I'm going to just throw in the towel. I'm not going to say anything, and I'm going to try and get over it. And he tells this to some other randoms, third party, and the third party's like, no, dude, you totally should have told them.
Who the fuck said that? Who were those other people? What?
Those other people should go to hell.
Yeah, those fucking people are fucking wrong.
Stand up, you're like, you know what? My friend's happiness is more important than my own happiness. My best friend there, he really likes this girl. This girl that I like, she really likes this guy. They are good together. They're happy together. Who am I to intrude on that? That is the wise and honorable thing to do.
I think so, too.
I would high-five you in person right now. I would go buy you a drink right now.
I don't understand.
Buy you a couple of drinks right now.
I don't understand who those other people were. Those other people suck. Those are shitty people.
Suck. Yeah, don't be friends with them. Don't be friends with them. Ever. Ever again.
I would probably just kill them. You should probably kill them. You should probably just stab those people.
You know what? Unctious knows a guy. We all know Unctious is Mafia, right? So he's got a hitman. I will PM me on Skype. Well, I'll give you Unctious's phone number. You guys can work out some details. It might cost a little bit of money, but we can get you on a layaway service. We'll get these guys taken care of.
If they have kneecaps, they won't.
Yeah, I mean,
they won't have
if they don't have kneecaps, well, hip bones. Where do their legs start?
Give them some fucking kneecaps to break. I don't care.
Yeah. These other guys are dicks. You did the right fucking thing. Never doubt yourself. Putting other people before yourself is what makes you a good person. Being selfish gets you ahead in life, but it's the evil thing to do. So, you're a good person, and I respect you for this. Well, good play.
Yeah, no, you pretty much did it. That's yeah. All right. So is that Love Bytes? Is that what happens?
Love Bytes. Love Bytes, guys. As we just heard today, Love Bytes. It's hard, especially when you like girls that don't like you. Or you like girls who like your friends, or you like a girl and she likes you, but she's dating your friend, or she's a coworker, or love fucking Bytes.
Good work, Neil. I think we covered a lot of ground today. We covered workplaces. We covered friends.
We really nailed this one.
What it means to be an adult. Wow.
I think I should always do Love Bytes on no sleep. I think it makes me more relaxed and more honest with the audience and less politically correct.
All right, man.
All right, next episode of Love Bytes will be Thursday, September 2nd, or January 2nd, 2014. What? Probably directly a little bit after Roleplay Evan again. Unctious, do you have any shout-outs? Do you have anyone you want to thank?
Nah, man. Thank you, Neil. Thanks, chat, for oh, yeah, wow, the Christmas tree. Thanks, Santa Claus. He's been good to me. He's a pretty cool guy. Beyond that, no, I'm just pretty psyched. Thanks a lot, dudes.
Thanks a lot, Unctious, for coming on, helping us solve these problems. You nailed some of those really, really well.
I appreciate it.
And chat, right now, unless you're watching this on YouTube or on a VOD or something, we're going to hop into Dicing with Death. That's a single-player Dungeons & Dragons campaign that I play in as Solomon, the chaotic evil cleric, who seeks to cause disruption and chaos in the world and basically make everyone feel like they're in the friend zone at all times. It's going to be great. Well, that's not true. That was just for fun. Anyway, my friend Ryan's going to DM it. He's a good guy. He's a great DM. We're going to be episode 3, and you should stick around and check that out. And after that, we're doing Quaffing with Koibu, where you guys get me a little bit drunk to moderately drunk, and we play video games, and I failed up playing video games against you guys, and you all beat me, and then I cry myself to sleep.
I might quaff alongside you. I might just be watching.
I think we are stream chat. And at some point somewhere doing drinking, or I don't know.
All right, I got to take down the stream.
Do it. Take those.
All right. Thanks a lot, Neil. Thanks, chat. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.